I've worked in psychiatric wards my entire life. It's a calling, I suppose. A mission inspired by the tragedy of my sister's suicide when I was just shy of 7. I was the one that found her wrists cut open, a deep pond of blood amassing in her bed, the drip, drip, drip of crimson droplets onto the floor, still there as clear as day when I closed my eyes. Her suicide note was a crudely drawn heart. That's it. That's all my parents got. I've since aided hundreds of patients, hundreds of lost souls locked away, not only physically but mentally as well. When they needed an escape, I was there for them. I talked to them, helped them through their darkness. Hundreds. But I could never forget Fitzpatrick's notes. Fitzpatrick was a young man, tall, dark, quite handsome, suffering from a rather serious case of paranoid schizophrenia. He was convinced someone was trying to kill him, and I spent months talking to him, helping him write down his thoughts, trying to guide him out of the shadows when the grim claws of the disease got a hold of him. They had him on medication, of course, all sorts of stuff, but unfortunately nothing seemed to help. Then the notes started appearing. At first they were convinced he wrote them himself. They still are, I'm sure, but I'm not. I know he didn't write them himself, even though it very much resembles his handwriting. Simple, sinister messages they were. We're coming for you. We want you dead. We'll come when you're sleeping. We will slit your throat. Every day you would find a new note and descend into what I can only describe as a bottomless fear-induced hysteria. On the floor, under the bed, under the pillow, in his shoes, the notes would magically appear, seemingly out of nowhere. They usually had to restrain him, and I can still hear his desperate shrieks as they dragged him down the somber hallways, tears streaming down his pale, terror-stricken face. No one believed him, of course. How could they? A history of mental illness spanning a decade, in and out of institutions since he was a child. It was obviously just another stage of his sickness rearing its ugly head. Then, one day, a final note. We are here, Fitzpatrick. We're coming for you tonight. They didn't know that he planned it for weeks, didn't know he had a knife. How did he get the knife? Should have been impossible, but like magic, it was there. He stabbed the orderly 23 times. Poor old Gary Purett. Pleasant, mild-mannered man. He was just checking on Fitzpatrick that night. It wasn't his fault, really. It could have been anyone. Fitzpatrick is long gone now, but I'll always remember him and the notes. He was my first, after all. You'd never forget your first. I'm just glad they never looked closer. I was sloppy back then. Still learning, I suppose. Well, learning how to copy another person's handwriting was difficult.